Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us today. Please join me in the opening prayer. The energy of love is within us and is us. Whole and complete is the I am that we are. We awaken to the truth of our being. We will this be done within and without. May we come to recognize that we receive all that we give. We know that we have forgiven ourselves when we forgive others of all grievances held within our minds. May we not be led into temptation by the voice of separation, but instead, may we transcend all illusions. For ours is the power, the love, and peace of Christ consciousness found within each of us, who is but the perfect extension of the one mind and heart that is shared by all, and is our birthright as the holy extensions of love itself.
Thank you, Ms. Penny. And hello, everybody. Welcome to the Church of Christ Consciousness. I also want to welcome everyone who is watching and to those who will watch later in the week. I hope everybody's strapped in because it's going to be a good one today. May shock a few people, and that's all right. That's my goal. All right? But I want to start with first is Happy Palm Sunday. All right? So almost 2,000 years ago, our way shower, the Christ, Jesus, rode in to Jerusalem with great fanfare. And as we all know, he rode the back of a donkey. And that was on purpose. It was to be humble. Yet in his humility, he still knew who he was. And that is what I want to talk about today. Even with the miracles that he could do, he still knew who he was. And never doubted it, but remained humble. So, I'd like to continue with leaving religion for spirituality and enlightenment, the series that I've been doing. This is the third week. And today I've titled it, From Unworthiness to Remembering What Your Worth Really Is. Time that we remember. So before we really get started, I'm going to ask a question. And I want everyone, whether you're watching it later in the week, or sitting here in the sanctuary, who told you, who was the first one who told you that you were unworthy? Who was the first one who told you? Did you come into the world knowing that you were unworthy, or were you taught unworthiness? Like most of us, we were taught. And religion played a big part in that. And I'll get into that here in a little bit. But we were taught that we were unworthy. And I want you to hold on to that so that by the end of this talk, you can remember who you are. One more question. It was almost 2,000 years ago, Palm Sunday we call it, when Jesus rode in to Jerusalem, like I just said. Religion tells us he died on the cross for us, to save us. I'm not going to argue or question any of that. It's whatever we choose to believe. Did he do it because he thought we were unworthy? No. He knew how loved we truly are by God, by the One, by the Source, whatever you choose to call it. Jesus knew how worthy we are. We have completely forgotten and gave our worthiness away. So my hope is that today you will reclaim it and know your worth. One more thing before I move on with it. God gave you your worth. He gave it to you. No one here on this earth can give you your worth. That was given by God. And what God gives is as eternal as He is. You cannot lose it. You cannot give it away. But you can deny it. You can deny your worth. Welcome to planet Earth. All right, we've all done it. I think probably 99% of the population feels unworthy. The 1% that might claim that they know their worth, most of them are arrogant. So they cover their unworthiness with arrogance. Arrogance is not worthiness. It comes from pride, which is what hurts us. So I'm going to ask Penny to read something real quick. I have written a series called Religion versus Spirituality. And this is a brief snippet of one of the books, because I want her to read it so that we can get started. And I want you to hear the truth of how we got to where we are and feeling unworthy, so that we can together, we can let it go and know who and what we are. So Miss Penny, thank you.
Religion versus spirituality. From unworthiness to knowing your worth. There comes a moment in every soul's journey when the weight of trying to be good enough becomes too heavy to carry. We may not even realize how long we've been holding it. That quiet ache and those deep personal questions we've often been too afraid to ask out loud. Am I worthy of love, of peace, of God? For many of us, religion offered a structure, a moral compass, and even moments of comfort. But for just as many, it also whispered something painful beneath the surface. You are not good enough. You are not good enough as you are. You must earn your place. You must prove your worthiness. This belief doesn't just live in our minds, it settles into our bones. It shapes the way we see ourselves, the way we relate to others, and even the way we relate to the divine. But there is another voice, one that is quieter at first, but infinitely more powerful. It is the voice of spirit, not shouting from pulpits, but gently rising within your own heart. It says, you were never separate. You are already enough. You are worthy because you exist, because you were made of love, by love and for love. This small book is a remembrance of that voice. It's not here to argue or shame, but to lovingly contrast two very different messages, the one of inherited unworthiness and the one of inherent worth. You'll hear some of my own experiences woven throughout because I've walked this road too. I felt the ache of disconnection and the joy of rediscovery. And if you're reading these words, perhaps your heart is ready to remember as well. Let this be a sacred invitation, not to believe more, but to remember more. To listen, not so you fear more righteously, but to love more, to love from the heart, and to come home at last to your true worth. With a heart full of love and reverence, your friend on the path, Eddie. Remembering what was always true. When I began to question the things I had been taught about God, myself, and what it meant to be worthy, I didn't do it because I was angry. I did it because something inside me wouldn't stop whispering, this just doesn't feel like love. And the whisper grew. It grew when I saw the fear in people's eyes, not of life, but of judgment. It grew when I noticed how many of us were quietly suffering from under the weight of guilt, shame, and the need to earn something that deep down we were already longing to believe was ours, unconditional love. This book isn't about bashing religion. I know that religion has offered comfort and belonging to many. I also know that it has often been distorted. It has often distorted the most beautiful truth of all, that we are not separate from the divine, and that our worth was never something to earn, but something to remember. Spirituality, to me, isn't a belief system, it's a returning, a soft, sacred homecoming to the love that has always been within you. It doesn't demand perfection, it invites presence. It doesn't ask you to prove yourself, it invites you to be yourself. As you move through these pages, I invite you to read slowly, breathe deeply, let the words touch the places within you that may still be holding on to that old idea that you're not enough. You don't need to fight those places. All that is needed is to just bring light to them. Bring kindness that is found within your heart, and let the remembering begin. You are not broken. You are not lost. You are not unworthy. You are whole. You are seen. And you are sacred. Welcome home.
Thank you, Miss Penny. Thank you so much. Guys, who told you that you were unworthy? Who did you buy it from? Who told you that you weren't good enough? Who sold you that bill of goods? I'm asking not that you blame anyone. I'm asking so that you'll recognize you bought a lie. You bought into a system that is built on keeping us down. Jesus the Christ came to raise us up. And here we are 2,000 years later, barely moved. Are we more advanced? Yes, we're more technologically advanced. But has anything changed within us? No. We still feel just as unworthy today as they did 2,000 years ago, as they did 2,000 years before that, and 2,000 years before that. Nothing has changed. Is there anyone to blame for that? Yes, but not in a judgmental way. In a way that means responsibility. We know down deep we have been lied to, but we still hold on to it as if it's the truth. Religion, our teachers in school, our family members, they all did the best they could because they were working with what they had. And the truth is, we're all doing the best we can. But we can only give away what we were given. They were given BS. And they bought it, and they gave it away. I cannot give you your worth. All I can do is have you look back at the truth of what you are. You are worthy. You are good enough. Why would you believe that you're not? I will share this. It is arrogant. It's the height of arrogance to believe that you're unworthy. Why do I say that? Because go back to what I said in the beginning. Before Miss Penny read just a little bit of one of my newest books. God gave us our worth. And for us to say we're unworthy is to look at God and call him a liar. Oops. His interpretation of us must be wrong, and ours must be absolutely correct. We're unworthy. See, God? Now, do you recognize that as a Christian, the insanity in that? Because if we were not worthy, Christ would not have come to do what he did. He tried to tell us of our worth, and we still didn't hear it. We still didn't buy it. Because we were told we were bad, that we were guilty. Now I'm going to ask you another question. Most of you have held a brand new baby, brand new, in your arms. When you were holding that baby and you looked down at it, did you see where that newborn knew that he was a wretched sinner, or she was a wretched sinner, that he or she did not know if there were? No. You were looking into the face of pure innocence. You're looking into the face of God. But what changed? Because we were all held like this at one time in our lives. What changed within us to believe that we are not what God created? That right there, that question and statement is the problem. Please understand that there is a system. The system does not want us to rise. It does not want us to recognize who and what we are. Far be it. In fact, the system couldn't handle it, which is why the system killed Jesus. This coming Friday will be almost 2,000 years. The system does not want us to know who and what we are. Do you know why? Because of our inherent power. We are powerful beings. How could we not be? We were created in the image and likeness of the one who is all power. And we run around feeling powerless. For what purpose? I'm not going to ask why. My mother told me a long time ago. The answer to why is why not. So what purpose does it serve for us to play powerless, to play in unworthiness? I'll tell you why. Because we're controllable. Because underneath all of that is fear. But please hear this. It isn't fear of punishment, fear of abandonment. It's fear of the truth of what we are. We're afraid of our own power. We are afraid of who and what we really are. Think about it. Look at what we, as mankind, have created with what little power we have. We can blow the world up 16 times, into smithereens, into pieces. But can you imagine the infinite power at your fingertips? That's what we're afraid of. Because we're afraid of what we would do to each other and ourselves. And I'm here to tell you, did you miss what Jesus the Christ said? We cannot destroy ourselves. We may come close to it, but we cannot. It is not in the cards, y'all. It's not God's will. When are we going to wake to the truth that we are divine? That we are absolutely worthy because God gave us our worth. And we do not have to earn it. How many of us today still try to earn our worth? That's the biggest crock that the system taught us, that we have to earn our worth. Earn our worth? How do you earn what was given? It's yours. Again, you can deny it all day long, and we've done a pretty good job at that. But you can't earn it. It was given. So there's only one thing that any one of us need do. I can't give it to you. It was already given. But you and all of you and those listening, you have not received it yet. You have not accepted the gift. And as long as you deny the gift, you will continue to feel unworthy. I can't make you hold your arms out and take it and embrace it. You must do that. That's your responsibility. We each must do it for ourselves. And I will share this with you. When you know of your worth, you're not arrogant. Because worth is love. Worth is the shininess, like gold. Shines like and sparkles like a diamond. That's what worth is. Love knows its worth, but love isn't arrogant. It isn't proud. It doesn't boast. It just is. And when you know your worth, you will just be. And you will be a perfect reflection of that worth. And here's what's so wonderful. When you know your worth, you will see those around you, the little spark begin to ignite and burn. Because you, by virtue of knowing who and what you are, will ignite the fire in another. That was what Jesus tried to tell us. Did he not say we are the light of the world? The light knows its worth. Darkness is what's unworthy. Darkness is unworthy of a child of God. Darkness is nothing but ignorance. That's all darkness is. It's ignorance. It's ignorance of the truth. More specifically, it's denial of the truth. Light is the truth. And to be enlightened simply means to know the truth and to live it, to be it. That's what it means to be enlightened. Do you know what to be awakened simply means? Look at the word. Awake. Awake. A, not wake. You've all been to them before. You've been to a wake before. It's for the dead. Awake means not dead. As long as you are unworthy, you are the walking dead. Is it any wonder that The Walking Dead was the #1 series for years on AMC? Of course not. It was the story of what we are and what we do because we walk in darkness and ignorance, denying who and what we are in truth. Now, can you imagine just 1% of the world, just 1% of 8 billion people, knowing the truth of who and what they are, just 1%. It would snowball. It would be like a tsunami. And within a few days, the world would shine so bright that you could see it on the other side of the universe. Because we are that light. And we're the what is to shine. But you can't do it if you're denying who and what you are. You cannot shine the truth if you claim to be unworthy. It goes against everything. It goes against the truth. In fact, it is a slap in the face of truth. Yes, I understand. Religion teaches unworthiness. It tells us that we're not good enough, that we were so bad that God had to send his only son to die a gruesome death in order to make us worthy of his love again. Do you hear that? I hope you do. That is the greatest lie ever sold. Jesus never claimed it. He never said that. And everybody bows as if it came from his mouth. What did he tell us? He told us that we're love. He told us that we're the light. He even said, "You are but gods, and you cannot claim it as blasphemous because the prophets said it and what they said is true." And he was quoting Psalms, the Old Testament, the only book of the Bible he knew. There was no New Testament. He did say, "Whosoever believes in me shall not perish." He didn't mean him as Jesus, the man. He meant the Christ, the living God. And to truly believe and follow the one that we call the Christ, to truly believe and follow his teachings, his way, as he asked us to do, is to show up knowing who and what we are, knowing our true worth, knowing that we are from love. We were created from love, by love, in order to love. That's all. And without knowing your worth, you can't do that. Because you have denied what you are, so therefore you can only give away what you think you are. You can only give away. You have to work for it. You have to be better. How many of you were taught you had to become perfect? Really? Whose definition of perfection? Did you ever stop and ask who defined perfect? This word that we're supposed to be. Have you ever looked the word up for yourself? Look it up in Merriam-Webster. You'll find that the word perfect has nothing to do with what you were taught. Nothing. Zero. Nada. It just says pure. And when you look up the word pure, it says to be guiltless, innocent. Now, you don't have to believe me, but if you have ever read the Bible or ever heard a Sunday sermon, when Jesus was on the cross, which will be this coming Friday, nearly 2,000 years ago, his last sentence before he gave up the ghost, "It is finished." It is done. When are you going to believe it? When are you going to believe it is finished? There's nothing else to work for. There's just to be it. There's nothing to earn. There's to accept it. There's nothing to do but live it. To try to earn your worth is to try to buy it. That is the lie that we were taught. That we had to buy what was given to us. Really? How much is your worth? How worthy are you? Have you ever asked? What will your worth cost? Most of us can't answer it because most of us are we feel so unworthy, we can't even answer the question. But I will share this as I bring this to a close. We're so worthy that he stretched out his arms and he said, "It is finished. It is done. Follow me. Follow me." And we're still running around like chickens with his head cut off. We still don't believe it. And that's okay. I'm not here to shame anyone. My whole purpose was to get you to think, not to shame you, but to make you think. But better yet, my purpose goes even one step deeper. I don't care what you think. I want you to feel. I want you to feel your worth. You will never think your way into worth. You have to feel it. You have to feel your worth. You cannot think yourself into worthiness. If you could have, we would have a long time ago. But you have to feel it. It comes from the heart. The mind will always chatter and tell us we're unworthy. But the heart knows the truth. But boy, we have buried it. Next Sunday, we celebrate the resurrection of the light, the resurrection of truth, the awakening of knowledge. How about trying it right now? It's yours. Unbury the heart. Let the heart live, and you will know your worth. Feel it. And as my mom taught me so many years ago, we have to feel it to heal it. Feel it, and you will heal it. You will heal that part of you that believes it's unworthy. And that part of you that believes that is your mind. Because the mind can only believe. The heart feels and knows. That's the difference. Awaken your heart. Allow it to feel and to share with you the truth. That's the voice that Miss Penny read earlier. That's the voice. And by the way, the voice comes from the truth of who you are. It doesn't come from outside. It comes from within you. Where the truth has always been, it's just been buried. Now it's time to dig ourselves up, to live. Throw the dirt on those who told you that you were unworthy, that you were not good enough, that you were bad. No. Now is the time to claim it. Be it, live it, and own it. Because when you know for sure who and what you are, you will do just as Jesus the Christ did. You will own it. You'll never think about it again because you know it, because you feel it to the very core of your being. And with that, I say thank you for watching. Before we move into a quick meditation, I'd like to say, if you would, and you'd like to know more, you can go to rtofoundation.org. Just simply put your email address in, and we will let you know when each in the series of books comes about. We're not asking for anything. We just simply want to let you know. Because it's time to awaken, guys. It's time to live the truth. After 2,000 years, it's time. So now I invite you, both feet on the floor. Close your eyes. We're going to keep this short. Let the tension go in your shoulders. Allow your mind to soften. Allow it to become quiet for just a moment. And open your heart to the feeling that is there. And I'm going to ask that we take 3 deep breaths. And I will prompt you, just say silently what I say. On the inhale, I am. And on the exhale, worthy. On the inhale, I am worthy because God gave me my worth. On the inhale, I am. And on the exhale, that which God created. Just take a moment and sit with it. Feel those words. Don't think them, feel them. And as you come back into this time, this space, this place, this moment, do so knowing your worth. And when somebody asks you to give it to them, say no. You have your own. And with that, I say thank you. Thank you to everyone who is here today. Thank you to those who are watching. And thank you to those who will watch later this week. If you feel up to it, please hit the like button. Subscribe. Share the message. It's time. And it will help us. It will help us because it will force the algorithm to continue sharing the video. So thank you. Have a great week ahead. See you next Sunday for the resurrection. Have a good one.